wonder why I do whatever I like. I do what I like. I do. What I like. I do.
Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. Now I know y'all probably got some questions for me, and I promise y'all I don't want to bore y'all too much with the tea, but we're just gonna focus on the positive right now and just know that a bitch is back. Okay, she's back and she's ready to create, and that's all that matters.
Enough to say, like, period.
So as y'all can see by the title of today's video, as y'all can see by that thumbnail, your girl is going to be trying to transform herself into Garfield the cat. Now, I don't know why, but it seems like I'm having a cat theme here, okay? I did a Cheer My Cat, I did a Cheshire Cat, and now I'm doing Garfield the cat. Yo, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I noticed it's almost a bit of a pattern here, but I'm not mad about it at all. Well, if you guys don't personally know who Garfield the cat is, honey, you've been missing out, okay? Basically, Garfield the cat was a cartoon created character that was made within comic strips. If you guys ever got newspapers, that this new generation probably doesn't even know anything about. But back then with newspapers, they always had comic strips within their comic strip section. And it was almost like to give people a laugh, give people a little bit of relief after, you know, reading so many other articles throughout the newspapers. And I actually seen a couple comic strips with Garfield in it, which I think was really cool. And I love it because it just takes you back to the good back old days of illustration and creating and drawing, coloring, all that good stuff. So that is where he personally got created from. And the journey of Garfield did not just stop at comic strips, you guys. He ended up having his own show called Garfield and Friends, of course, which starred John, which is the owner of Garfield, and Odie. And then, of course, Odie, the dog, that Garfield has a love-hate relationship with, honestly. And then, of course, there were some other characters developed throughout the show, which is like a pink cat, a gray cat, I think a little mouse or something like that. I did get a chance to kind of watch the show from time to time throughout me growing up, but I never actually stuck to fully watching every single episode of it. But it was pretty cool. I thought it was cute. And of course, y'all already know the live action movie. I love 1 and 2. I think it is amazing. If you guys don't know about that, once again, you missed out a lot.
What good is a cat that can't chase a mouse?
I don't do the chase thing. All right, I'll handle this. I know you don't hear me, but can't you just listen?
Now, of course, the inspiration that I got for this makeup look idea was from Miss Creative Clinch herself. I have featured her here on my channel before because I have gotten inspired by her before. I always get inspired by her, to be honest. She's an amazing makeup artist. You guys already know. And if you haven't looked her up yet, please do, because she transforms herself into so many different cosplay characters, cartoon characters, makeup looks in general, and I just think it's really cool. But yeah, she transformed herself into Garfield, which inspired me to do that as well. But of course, I'm going to add some different things to make me stand out a little bit from the original makeup look within itself. So we won't look exactly alike, but I'm definitely getting inspiration within the structure of Garfield and how he's built from within the face to the neck and the chest. I can clearly tell that she got inspiration from the original 2D drawing of Garfield within his character. I kind of want mine to be half 2D, half almost 3D dimension within shading and highlighting. I'm going to see how that works because I think that would be really, really cool. But yeah, we're gonna see how that works out. We're just gonna see.
First thing Monday morning, I'm gonna get to work on losing those last 20 pounds.
But before we go ahead and get into this video, why don't you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button, subscribe to your girl's channel, and then why don't you guys also go ahead and hit that notification bell so you guys can be notified every time I upload a new video here onto my channel. And then why don't you guys also go ahead and follow your girl on all of her social medias, which is her Instagram and her Twitter. I'm gonna try to not make this tutorial too long, especially because this is my first time getting back into things. So I want to try and show you guys what I'm doing, but at the same time speed it up, you know what I mean? And then on top of that, I just want to have fun with this, to be honest. I thought to have something pretty creative and fun to help me get back into things, you know what I mean? So I'm just ready to see how this transformation is, and let's see what the ending result is. So follow me along on this journey to seeing how this makeup look turns out. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and get into this video. Hey you guys, so as you guys can see, your girl went ahead and glued down those eyebrows off camera, and those eyebrows are stamped down, honey. They're not moving nowhere. But basically all the products that I did use for my eyebrows off camera, including this tutorial, will be down in the description box down below for you guys, along with discount codes. But getting into the tutorial, I'm basically using my Black Radiance Beauty double-ended black liquid eyeliner pencil, and I'm taking both ends of the liquid eyeliner pencil from the angle tip point to the pointer side, and I'm basically just starting to sketch out Garfield's face and ears onto my face, trying to get the structure of how I want things to be. And as y'all can see, I am taking a makeup wipe and erasing certain spots and areas that I feel like need to be enlarged a little bit bigger or brought down just a little bit more smaller, just because I feel like this definitely helps me get a certain precise image on how I want things to be. And I definitely think it's okay, especially when you're trying to do a cartoon transformation, it's definitely okay to erase some things and, you know, adjust it as much as you wanted to. I feel like I need a lot of more forehead room than I thought I did for his ears, so that's why I kind of backed up my scarf a little bit more so I can give his ears enough room as possible. But yeah, sketching this was a little tough, but I kind of got it together. As y'all can see, I'm going to start using my base, which is the CoverGirl Trublend Matte Made Foundation, the shade L10, and I basically just mixed it with some orange acrylic paint, and I'm now applying that as the base for the eyelids. I'm gonna actually apply this for the base for everything from the body to the legs, to the feet, to the hand, the double chin, the ears, everything. The same technique is going to be applied everywhere else. Just want to let y'all know in advance. But I'm basically just going ahead and doing certain sections. I wanted the eyelids to dry down a little bit first before I did the side parts with his little extra fur next to his eyelids. But what I should have did was I should have set it with Airspun Coty translucent powder immediately once I did the eyelids, but I didn't. So that's why there's going to be like a little bit of scratches in between the eyelids, but of course those would get fixed and touched up throughout the tutorial. But as y'all know, this is the go-to step that I always would recommend and I will always do, which is set the base, because setting the base honestly helps you to be able to do other things on top of that without necessarily worrying so much about everything moving around. So that's why you want to make sure you're really patting down the powder, getting it into all the creases, and also you want to wipe away the powder as well, all that excess powder that didn't really get too attached onto the stuff that you're trying to set. So I'm basically taking my my fluffy blending eyeshadow brush, and I'm basically just packing it on with a bunch of orange. I'm starting with almost like a light orange and kind of mixing it a little bit with a nice medium tone orange, and I just want to apply it all on top of everything that I had already covered within the base first before starting to shade. And basically what I did was, y'all, I basically just took dark orange, dark brown, and a little bit of red, and I basically just started shading it in. I didn't necessarily follow along with any type of reference picture to do this type of shading. I kind of just went with my instincts, and I kind of just shaded on certain areas that I felt like needed to be shaded on, which was like the middle part within his eyelids, within that crease area, and then of course on top, and then on the sides. And I basically just kept shading and shading until I felt like it was definitely shown that there is some shading being done on these eyelids. And I felt like it was kind of really like low-key bringing it into life. Like I could kind of see the 3D realisticness side of it all. But now moving on to the cheeks, the mouth part of Garfield, I basically took the same foundation, CoverGirl Trublend foundation in L10, and I mixed it with some light yellow acrylic paint. And basically I took the same brush, wiped it off, and then I'm basically just following inside the line areas of what we sketched out, and basically just applying it down and just kind of moving in with how I did everything. I wanted to start with each section at a time first. So of course I did that section and set it with Airspun Coty translucent powder, made sure it was set really nicely, and then I did the other half off camera just to speed up time. But of course I went ahead and made sure I did the same routine for each section of the face and body. And of course, as y'all see, I took my fluffy powder brush and dusted off all that excess powder that definitely didn't need to be on there. So once I got done doing the other side, I'm basically just mixing a little bit of a nice semi-medium tone yellow with a very light yellow, because his mouth isn't necessarily like so dark yellow, but it's almost like it's a little bit of a medium toned yellow to a light yellow. So that's the same type of color combination that I felt like I was trying to do, and I think it kind of worked. And of course throughout this video I definitely had to patch some things up within that area specifically, so y'all will see that for sure happen throughout the tutorial. But right now I'm taking some yellow eyeshadow that's just a little bit darker, and I'm basically just shading the mouth area too. At first I was gonna leave it alone, but I was like, no, because if I'm trying to really bring this into almost like a 3D Garfield, I need to add some more shading. So that's what I did, and it definitely felt like it had an effect on it for sure. And this time for the eyes, I basically just took some of the L10 foundation by CoverGirl, and I just started going in and filling in the areas for the eyes. I really took my time with this because I didn't want to mess up anything I had already took care of, which was the cheeks and the eyelids. But if anything did get messed up, I made sure that I just went ahead and went over it and just kind of blended out the edges so it won't look so harsh. But I basically tried my best to fill in as much as I could. And I'm now taking some Airspun Coty translucent powder again and setting it so that way it won't move around or anything like that once we start applying the actual dots within his eyes and start outlining it and everything. But yeah, I'm just really packing on the powder for this, and then I'm basically just using some semi off-white shadow and just really packing it in within the eye area. I feel like it definitely did help, and I kind of had to touch up on this area as well throughout the actually I had to touch up on a lot of areas on Garfield throughout the video, just because, you know, things happen once you really take your time to do a look. So sometimes you always got to have a little bit of a touch-up area. So for right now it looks really good, and then later on I had to touch it up again, which was, you know, not such a huge problem. But once we got done with the eyes, I went ahead and just went and started working on the nose. I try to make it as wide as possible, but at the same time not too wide. So I basically just took some foundation and used that as a base, and then started packing on some of course I set in my nose first, and then I packed on some pink eyeshadows. I mixed in with a little bit of medium toned pink to a little bit of light pink. And as y'all can see, I finished off the bottom of the face off camera just to speed up time, and now I'm basically taking some brown L.a Colors liquid eyeliner and some CoverGirl black liquid eyeliner, and I'm basically just going to start outlining within the face. I'm using the brown mostly for the outer part of his face, within most of the orange areas, and then I'm going to use the black to focus more within like the mouth and the eyes. And this wasn't such a hard process, honestly. I didn't want to make the lines too thick, but I didn't want to make them too thin either. So I was trying my best to just kind of give it like a nice medium size to a smaller size within outlining it. But I feel like once I started outlining it, I definitely started to see it come to life, and I was getting really excited about it. So that's basically all I'm doing, is just taking those liquid eyeliners and just outlining each section within the mouth, then the eyelids, the extra fur on the sides, the nose, the the extra part of the face at the bottom with the chin. I went ahead and outlined everything, just to really be precise with everything. And I definitely would, not rush this process. Please take your time, because it definitely does count. And there is an extra hook within the cheeks too that I ended up adding just because. And then I went ahead and took care of the eyeballs. Basically just added two little half-sized half-size cut and half-size circles onto the eyes, and just kind of let that dry down. And then once I got that done out the way, because his eyes are they're not too far apart from each other, but they're not all the way close to each other either. So I definitely had to do that for sure. And then I went ahead and started outlining the nose, and I went ahead and outlined the eyes as well, just to get that out the way. And then once I really got that done, I felt like I could really see things really come to life within Garfield's face, and I got excited and happy about it. I did the ears off camera just to speed up time, but I did the same process with the highlighting and shading and outlining with brown liquid eyeliner. And then I also went ahead and added those 3 dots within his cheek area to off camera to speed up time. I just used black paint for that as well. But yeah, I thought I did pretty good with the shading part. And of course, I want to start focusing on getting the rest of it outlined. But now, basically, I'm taking the brown liquid eyeliner, and I basically just started creating the lines within Garfield's face, because if y'all know, his cartoon character side has a lot of lines around his face and his ears, his body, his tail. So I went ahead and tried my best to do at least 2. But then when I started looking at some other reference pictures of Garfield, I noticed that he has like at least about 3 to 4 lines on each little section. So that's when I started really going in. And I was like, oh, okay, so I can add some more lines. So you can always do just 2, you can do 3, you can do 4. It all depends on you. But once I got that done and out the way, I added those on the side of his little hairs next to his eyelids as well. But I started working on the lines that were drawn inside of his ears. I started with brown liquid eyeliner first, and then I went out of my way to do black liquid eyeliner on top of that, because I just felt like it needed to be just a little bit darker. So these lines aren't too straight, but they're just almost like a little bit curvy. And then I wanted to show you guys that I went ahead and sketched out the body within Garfield, his tail, feet, and legs off camera just to speed up time. Of course, I created the base for it, and then I set it with airspun coty translucent powder, added the orange eyeshadows from the light to the medium tone on top as the base of the color. And then of course, I'm doing the same technique that I did for the face, which is shading using that dark brown, dark orange, and red within certain areas of the body. And then of course, I'm just taking some black acrylic paint with a small precise paintbrush, and I'm just taking my time and outlining every single area from the body to the stomach to the feet to the tail to the legs. And then of course I'm going to fan it to kind of let it dry first before I continue to move on. But yeah, I just thought this was kind of semi low-key the easiest part and process. And then of course, once everything dried down, I went ahead and added the arms, and I added some more lines within the tail and then the body as well. I didn't care too much about how precise that was with the tail, because that's going to most of the tail is going to get covered up with my prop anyways, so I didn't care too much about how precise it was from the reference picture, but y'all pretty much get the point. But now moving on to that extra detail to kind of make my Garfield stand out a little bit more differently, is that I'm adding a light yellow acrylic paint and a nice medium toned vibrant yellow acrylic paint. And I'm basically doing this ombre effect where I'm adding the light yellow, and then the medium toned vibrant yellow is going to be within the center swoops of the cheese, because this is supposed to give it that effect that it came from my prop of the lasagna tray that I created for him, because if y'all don't know about Garfield, he loves his lasagna.
Once again, my life has been saved by the miracle of lasagna.
And I even went ahead and did a little bit of extraness with it, and I added some drips and droops from the cheese to his hands, and I added some onto his stomach, so it really shows that y'all can see, okay, Garfield's been eating. he's been snacking on the lasagna now, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I went ahead and added the dark yellow within the center swoops and on the drips as well. And I thought that gave it a really cool effect. And of course, I wanted to add a contrast color from Garfield. I didn't want it to blend it with my actual skin tone complexion. I wanted to add a background color, which was a struggle to try and figure out what color I wanted to do. But I ended up settling with a nice layer of light gray. I kind of added the little droops at the bottom like Creative Dot Cliche did, just to kind of give it that same technique. But I thought this was pretty cool. I just, really focused on painting around the edges of his ears, his face, the body. I even painted my own ears. And I painted some more with down lower of my arms and my shoulders off camera, just because I felt like there was no purpose for me to show y'all all of that. And of course, I went ahead and added the prop. I just glued it on with some special effects glue. And of course, as y'all seen, I just set the face with the Pop Beauty Makeup Magnet Mist Setting Spray. And this is pretty much it to the finished look, you guys. So as y'all can see, Garfield is chilling with his cheese, lasagna, and everything else. And you guys, this is the finished look. I personally love this. Hold on, let me sit up and back so you guys can see the vision. Do you see it? Do you see it? Because I see it.
Period! Period!
Honestly, I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do with this, because I feel like I definitely made it way too wide. I should have made it a lot more smaller, but honestly, I was just happy about the fact that I finished it and got it completed and ready to go. So I'll figure this out once I take my pictures, but I am very proud of myself. I was about to give up just within the minimum of time, but any artist would tell you, just keep going and see how everything turns out in the end, because you have to trust the process. So that's what I ended up doing, and I continued on with the makeup, and this is how it came out. I truly love this. Honestly, I see Garfield right in front of my eyes. I might have to shift some things a little bit more inward and up, maybe just a little bit. But other than that, though, I mean, this is Garfield, y'all. But if you guys like this makeup look, if you guys liked how this turned out as much as I did, then why don't you guys go ahead and give this video a big old thumbs up, and then comment down below any other makeup look or suggestions that you guys would like for me to do here onto my channel. Okay, I know Odie would be proud of me, I know John would be proud of me, and I know Garfield himself, the OG, would be proud of me, okay?
Hey, bitch.
This was a really amazing, fun comeback makeup look, getting back into everything slowly but surely, okay? But I really enjoyed this. It was kicking me in the butt a little bit in the beginning, just because I felt like my energy was kind of off, but once it got back on, I was with the shits, okay? We got her done, and that's all that matters. But yeah, also, why don't you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button, subscribe to your girl's channel. Why don't you guys also go ahead and hit the notification bell so you guys can be notified every time I upload a new video here like this. Honey, who doing it like this though? You feel me? Onto my channel. And I just want to say hi to all of my new subscribers. I've been getting a couple new subscribers lately, even with me not even really uploading as consistently. I just want to say thank you guys so much for subscribing, and I promise you guys will not regret subscribing to your girl's channel. Even when she's absent, she still comes back with a banger. You feel what I'm saying? So, and do not forget to follow your girl on all of her social medias, which is her Instagram and her Twitter. If you're watching me desktop version, there are 2 links up in the banner, and if you're watching me mobilely, then you can just swipe to my about section, and there should be 2 links to my social medias there as well. But yeah, other than that, you guys, like I said, I hope you guys honestly truly love this makeup tutorial and this makeup look overall. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.